If you would like to know why successful CEOs or why successful high performance athletes are so successful, or the successful entrepreneurs and visionary leaders, why they are so successful, there's actually a science behind of it. And I would like to explain to you today what the science behind of it is and how you can use this science, this literally basic science, and achieve your goals and be successful not only in 2025 but also going forward in your life. So let's get started, and today we are going to talk about amygdala. Amygdala is such an important part of our brains, and as you all know, as I keep saying it, and me being a scientist who worked on brain cancer, PhD in brain cancer, as well as my postdoctoral research, and my faculty was all about brain cancer. So everything about brain and the brain's function and everything that we can do in our lives, it all comes from the brain. I keep saying that, and I 100% believe in that because I do it myself as well, because everything comes from our brain, right? And so everything that we have in our brain can literally make our lives go in either direction, right? Either in a healthy direction or an unhealthy direction. If something in our brain is also messed up, that affects the whole body. And the amygdala is part of our brain, and many people believe that or think that it's actually one part, just one small part of a region of our brain, but in fact it is, as you can see also in my thumbnail, it's a two side of the brain. There is a part called amygdala, which is a tiny, literally small, tiny part that is almond shaped, and it is such an important part of our brain that regulates not only our behaviors, not only regulates our emotions, but also it's an important part. Of course, it's also regulation is related to learning, unconscious learning as well as conscious learning. As important part is also that is our brain's um, danger, that detects danger and gives the reaction for flight, flight or fight reaction, which is absolutely important in our evolution to recognize the danger. And when this part of our brain is affected, and I will tell you about how the disorders and symptoms can actually affect our amygdala, and how our body reacts to that with some symptoms as well as with some disorders. And our part here is important part here is to and that's the point of our video today. How can we regulate our amygdala so that we can achieve our goals, achieve our successes? And in many disorders, in many symptoms, and especially in this day and age, our amygdala is totally dysregulated, and the dysregulation comes from a variety of symptoms that can include PTSD. We talked a lot about in the latest videos about PTSD, right? Post-traumatic stress disorder, and anxiety disorders, and anxiety, those and stress, those affect our amygdala, so that we are literally the amygdala gets activated, and that's how we are in this flight or fight motion, right? Fight or flight state where we are blocked and hindered, and that is also how we are blocked to reach our goals, or blocked to reach our successes, or whatever we want to achieve, because it's kind of like a self-sabotage, if you will. If we keep the amygdala activated, constantly activated, we will not be able to see how the goals we have set for ourselves, and we will not be able to see the results of it because our amygdala is highly activated. So let me tell you first, show you also here in the anatomy, if you will, if you can see it here, hopefully. This is the tiny part here. This is the whole brain, if you can see, and this is a tiny part of our brain. And as you saw also in the MRI scan, it is actually two sides of the brain. It's very small, but it's very, very important part of our brain. So me tell you first, as I said, it is an important part for our survival and danger, right? So in this evolution, the amygdala is the part that really is regulating how we see the world, how we see the danger. And in fact, it is it's so important that we understand the anatomy and how the human body develops. And there's a huge difference between how females' amygdala and the male's amygdala are developing over time with the development of males and females. And this makes a lot of sense in evolution and the behavior of male and female. So obviously no one can say that there's no difference in physiology and anatomy of male and female. And that's another topic, but obviously many people who don't know the science and who don't understand how the human body works and the anatomy and physiology, then there's not much you can do. The world is then how it is, right? So there's a huge difference also in the amygdala development when we see between males and females. But this is for another topic, another time, where we dive more deeper. If you want me to, we can talk about that. So as I said again, it regulates our behavior, it regulates our emotional control, and also the memories, right? Especially the emotions that comes with memories. For example, as I mentioned with the PTSD, right? When we have these negative emotions and these memories activates the amygdala and brings up the emotions high up, whether it is like these panic attacks, right, anxiety, and those are the behaviors that actually can hinder and self-sabotage our successes in achieving our goals in life. And the learning is also regulated by the amygdala in a way that unconscious learning and conscious learning. So for example, if you are riding a bicycle, right, even if you haven't biked for 20 years, when you sit on a bike, you will be able to bike, and that, or swim, right? You will not forget how to do that. And that's how that's the part of amygdala, that part of the brain which is called amygdala, that regulates this part of unconscious learning, as well as the conscious learning. For example, with addiction, that's also part of the amygdala coming in and regulates the addiction, the learned behavior like addiction. Then also the regulation of anger and aggressivity is also coming from, regulated by amygdala, and the rewards and punishment senses and emotions are also regulated by the amygdala. And the unconscious memory. The unconscious memory also, as I said, combined with the negative emotions and with panic attack, with PTSD, and those are also regulated. The unconscious memory that we cannot control is also regulated by the amygdala. And social clues, for example, and again, when I'm talking about this, you will understand how sometimes this, this empath or this spiritual awakening, what have you, it's actually science, right? Actually, how the brain works. And many, it is, again, as I keep saying it, if you don't know things, it's easy to fall into the trap of people who don't know things, right? Like spiritual gurus or some gurus or cult leaders, what have you. So basically, amygdala is also regulating the social clues. For example, the behavior that you can see, how a person will react, and the behavior of the person. Is this positive? Is this negative? This is also how it's regulated by amygdala. So if you will, if you're an empath and you just say like, I can sense people from, I don't know, 1,000 miles away, right? Maybe your amygdala is the part that's doing this, right? Instead of saying that I'm somehow spiritual and just knowing out of nowhere things. Basically, it is the fact that the amygdala plays a role in that. And also parental behavior and the caregiving and being a parent and the emotions that comes with that, as well as the caregiving emotion. See, this is all, if you believe in like empath or being and having empathy, these are all coming from the amygdala. So it's not something woo-woo, okay? So it's actually coming part of our brains, okay? So I just want to make sure that I am in the right direction here, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing, what I'm saying here on the table here on the blackboard. So let's talk a little bit about the conditions that and the disorders that are associated with the overreactivity of amygdala, or is affected, or how or when amygdala is affected, the disorders and the symptoms are associated with that. And those are anxiety disorders and intermittent explosive disorder, mood disorders, panic disorder, we talked about that, right? PTSD, we talked about PTSD, and phobias, these are all associated with amygdala, and personality disorders. So amygdala plays a huge role in these disorders. And again, if you believe that, your anxiety, your panic attack, your PTSD, so all are affecting your success in achieving your goal, and which is, don't blame yourself. And I will show you in this video techniques that you can do to calm down your amygdala and actually achieve your goals and be successful. I even prepared a workbook for you so that you can get that workbook and literally, which I will talk about later in this video, how the methods that you can do. And it's everything you can find, even the worksheets and the sheets that you can work on and write down, and including your goals that you want to achieve in 2025. It's all in the workbook, okay? So please get your workbook. It's in the description, okay? So, and also brain related disorders can be or conditions or disorders can be Alzheimer's disease, can be autism spectrum disorder, can be brain cancer, epilepsy, especially the temporal lobe epilepsy, and also stroke. These are all associated with amygdala. So as you can see, there's a huge part of our body, huge part of our body that's been regulated by amygdala. And therefore, it is so critical that we are regulating our amygdala so that we can achieve the success and goals what we want, and also have a peaceful life, right? If you are in constant anxiety, if you are in constant panic mode, then you know that you are self-sabotaging yourself, right? Sometimes if you are not even aware of it and you just feel like and anxiety oftentimes brings depression with itself, and then you know that you want to do things but you can't, and oftentimes you don't know what's going on, and that makes it even worse because you just like you get more depressed and more depressed. And trust me, I have been for the last 2 or 3 years in this situation. For the last 1 year, finally I found the methods, and I put them all together in my Scientist Total Health Transformation Protocol. You can enroll in that, and you will be having personalized program with me, and I will guide through to your problems that affects your entire body, coming from a science and health perspective. Okay, and so when and before you are in this position of want to achieve success but can't, and you have this anxiety, for example, the PTSD part, right? We talked a lot about how with the neuroplasticity, how you can turn your PTSD into post-traumatic growth, right? Into the PTG, because that will be an aha moment if you train your brain into, okay, this is not a fight or flight situation anymore. This is, I'm regulating consciously my amygdala, which I'll show you in a second, the techniques you can do that, and then you can bring it. And I have done it actually unconsciously. Basically, I just tried and find methods that helped me to regulate my brain and regulate my entire system, because my entire system was totally shut down basically. And I had to, because none of the MDs that I've, and also the micro specialists at Harvard that have been, I literally, they couldn't help me because nobody, it was more complex than giving you a drug and just find out, because I was even so sensitive that I couldn't even take any medication, but I couldn't tell them because they wouldn't listen. They would want to follow the protocol. Here, this is the symptoms, and just treat the symptom. I keep talking, I talked about this in the COVID time, right? Keep treating people, the MDs, the medical system keeps treating the symptom, not the cause of the issue. And here I explain to you the cause of the issue is the amygdala, and to calm it down, right? So when I had these, I had developed panic attacks, which I've never had in my entire life. And this was because I explained this several times in my videos. I had a severe viral infection that shut down my lungs, shut down my nose, and I couldn't breathe. And then I always keep saying, I literally felt that I'm dying right now, right here. So I was hospitalized 3 times. I was given oxygen. And at one moment when everything shut down and my voice was affected, I couldn't scream, I couldn't ask for help. And then that was the moment for me that I said, okay, that's it. I'm going to die right now, right here. And so since then, I had not only developed the gratefulness, and that's what I talked about in my latest videos, and that's the workbook also based on how gratitude actually transforms your brain and changes your brain, and how I literally I'm so grateful for being able to breathe, right? I mean, for many people, breathing, yeah, it's just so natural. Actually, for people who can't breathe, then it is it is the world, it means the world to you, okay? And that is so important to understand, that the PTG, turning this into PTG with neuroplasticity, transforming your brain into, I'm so grateful now being able to breathe, okay? And because of that, it is so important that we are consciously transforming our brain and regulate our amygdala. And obviously what helped me in that time was also my journaling, right? And I did made a 30-day journaling challenge on my YouTube channel, was live, and I used my inner royalty journals, and I journaled inside for 30 days. And I have a challenge, and you can also do that together. You can get these on Amazon, and I have two of them. This is the first version. This is the second version. So I started did my inner royalty journaling on with this one on my YouTube channel. So that also, journaling, calmed me extremely down. But also I have several techniques that I develop myself, how I calm down my anxiety and PTSD, actually panic attack, and the fight or flight reaction. I experienced it all. It was horrendous. It was so also exhausting on my body when you have that, and when nobody can help you. I said to myself, I have to help myself, because my life is going like out of my hand, and I am suffering. I was going for 1 year to doctors after doctors after, I mean, doctor, I don't want to like to say the word doctor, but like physicians, MDs, and no one could help me, no one. And I said to myself, I have to help myself, and this is how I developed the techniques. And again, and I overcame panic attack, I overcame PTSD, I overcame anxiety that was all associated from that event, which was clearly a PTSD for me. And I've never in my entire life had panic attack or this severe anxiety that will come back. It affected all areas of my life. And this way, if you now have overcome it, I'm happy to help for you to also be able to overcome it, because it's so important and so critical. So now let's talk about, actually, let me tell you first the science, right? When I keep talking about how the amygdala is actually affecting their success, and the neuroscientists in University of Texas discovered that clarity, and that's absolutely, I 100% agree with that. It happened with me, because if you're a rational person, and cognitivity is the thing how you lead your life, then cognitively, then this is absolutely for you. And this is also for me. Was the way you can actually overcome anxiety, one of the ways, and this is clarity. And the researcher neuroscientists in University of Texas found that clarity reduces anxiety in the amygdala, and leading to better decision making, 100%. So if you have anxiety, your decision making is blocked. And this sun gets really annoying to me. Oh, I can do it like this. Oh, good. Oh my God, let's do it like that. I was just going deeper and deeper into this. Oh my God. So, okay, perfect. It was just so tiring. So the amygdala, I mean, what I was going to say is, then you set your when you have clarity in your mind, then this is also how you can actually help to reduce your anxiety by regulating your amygdala. So clarity is absolutely key, was key for me, because I'm a cognitively functioning person. So, and I will have another video if you want me to do about how psychotherapy is absolute for people like us. It's not even functioning and it's not even effective. And I have a strategy that you can do if you're a person like me, functioning more cognitively, than how actually therapy and other types of therapies might be more helpful to you other than psychotherapy, because psychotherapy, believe it or not, is not helpful for everyone. People, it's just like yoga, for example, kills my body, right? It makes me even more painful, and I tried multiple different versions of yoga, doesn't work. But I have other methods, other sports that calms me more down and give me the effectiveness of whatever yoga is giving you. There are so many other methods. So again, there's not one size fits all, and psychotherapy is one of those. So nobody talks about it, but here you go. And so that's why it's so important. That's why I included a worksheet, right, in the downloadable workbook, so that you can set your you have your goal set, and that gives clarity, because when you see it black on white, you have clarity. And once you have clarity, then this will help to regulate your amygdala, and this is how you will be able to calm down your anxiety and have a better decision-making process. And also, Harvard Business Review study found that employees with clear goals were 3.6 times more likely to be high performers. So again, it's all about regulating your amygdala, and this is how you can achieve with clarity, reducing your anxiety and reducing the activity of amygdala, and this is how you achieve success. But here's more practical way. Let's move on into the practical part. The practical part is, first of all, also, before I get into the how you the practical steps, I just want to tell you the symptoms, right? If you have your amygdala is activated, then you might have sweating, you might have faster pulse and heart rates and faster breathing, and your sympathetic nervous system, like the fight or flight reaction, is activated. So if you experience any of these, then this means that your amygdala is highly activated. So we have to calm it down. And how you can calm it down, obviously, journaling and 10 minutes of calming yourself down is actually scientifically proven that 10 minutes of calming yourself down every day is actually reducing the activity of amygdala. And that's a scientifically proven method, and it definitely, as I said to you, journaling in that time really helped me as well. And so I would really, really recommend you to do that as well. And first, I have in that downloadable workbook also the sheet where you can set your goals. And when you set your goals, as I said, the science show that once you set your goals, the clarity comes in. And once the clarity comes in, and that is how you regulate your amygdala and calm the activity of amygdala down. So in that worksheet, write down first your goals. There's a part where you say, write down your goals. Then I included for you a separate sheet which calls the SMART goals. The SMART goals are SMART, right? it's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's relevant, it's time bound. So you have to, and this, if you are in business, you will probably always see the SMART goals. So SMART goals, everyone wants you to write down a sheet, have the sheet and write down your SMART goals. The SMART goals is, it's specific. You need to have a specific goal. You need to have it measurable. You need to have it actionable, achievable. You need to have it relevant, and you need to have it time bound. And when you have that clarity, let's say for 2025, you want to have these goals, but make even sheets for every goal, right? One goal that you have, and work it down on the SMART goals. If it's a specific, if it's measurable, if it's achievable, like put it down into pieces, how you can achieve it. And then it is relevant to your life, relevant to whatever you want to achieve. And also if it's time bound, like when, until what time do you want to achieve it. And once you have your SMART goals set, that brings clarity. And we just learned that the science show that clarity reduces the activity of amygdala. So important. Then again, in that actionable part from the SMART goals, take the one goal and put it into pieces, that how you can achieve it. And once you break it down in smaller pieces, it is actually the way that you do it is be more coming like a small, not like a big mountain in front of you, but a small hill and tiny hills that you can achieve. And regularly, like a business plan, regularly check these plans, regularly check the SMART goal, the SMART sheet, and adjust based on the current situation. Stick to it, of course, but also adjust to it as your life goes in, and see it as a moving part. And don't, of course, make it so that you shift around the time bound, you shift around the time that you're supposed to achieve it, but rather stick to it, but don't overburden yourself and make it more anxious, right? And make it more anxiety, so that you feel like, oh my god, how I'm supposed to even achieve that. And of course, in general, coming also from the health perspective, the way we need to also regulate our amygdala is literally calming ourselves down. Literally for 10 minutes a day, I suggest wake up early in the morning and just calm down, just breathe, literally breathe. And this way you will be able to calm yourself down, calm your entire nervous system down, regulate your amygdala, and write down in your journal whatever comes into. That's my suggestion. These are my tips and tricks for you. And I also do, again, we learn clarity calms down the amygdala. And if you, which I always done, I mean all the time, I have to-do lists, and I put it down, and I recommend you to do that one night before you go to bed. For the next day, write it down, everything you need to do, everything that comes to my mind, I need to do, even if there are small tasks, put it down in the to-do list. And that way, not that I forget, I have everything in my mind, everything in my brain, whatever I need to do, it's all in my brain. But when I put it down, and I do it anyway, I put it on the to-do list. And once I put it in to-do list, it is as if that part of your brain that's occupied of remembering constantly of I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do that, that part of the brain is so activated that actually, if you will Your brain never stops working. It even in sleep, your brain works, and works so much that it exhausts you, even unconsciously exhausts you. So when you put it, dump it on, that's why journaling is so important, because you dump it outside of your brain and bring it out of your brain so that a part of your brain is not occupied. And that's how you, if you will, therapy, write it down in your journals with, that's how the therapy actually works, that you take it out of your brain, that part of your brain is not occupied anymore. And if you will, the EMDR is the same method. It takes away that occupation of your brain with that situation and releases it. That's the bottom line of EMDR therapy. And also journaling is this, has the same effect. And put it down in your to-do list, what you need to do. It's all the same thing. Taking off of that part of your brain that's occupied by these thoughts, even if it's just as simple as to-do lists. Okay, so that's my tip, because I do this for, I don't know, all the time in my life, right? To-do list. And then I gave before a tip and trick how you, what you can do actually that really helps you, because remember I said the reward and punishment system also comes from the amygdala. So what I as I have done this all the time, and there's a science behind of it. I do and have a to-do list, and I go through a to-do list daily. Whenever I finish a task, I take a red pen. Where's my red pen? Or pink pen. Where's my red pen? I don't find it right. Oh, it's right here. Yep. I take a red pen and then check it. I check it. And this is how I reward myself, because unconsciously I feel rewarded because I've done it, and I see it on black and white, my to-do list, but then on red, I checked it off. That's my tip for you. That's how I do it for, I don't know, decades. And so it really, really helps. So if you really want to achieve success in life and on 2025 going forward, again, use the science. Don't go by some methods that has nothing to do with science. It's just noise. The science is clear. The science is simple. Actually, you can regulate your amygdala. This is what high performance athletes, successful athletes are doing. This is what CEOs, like successful CEOs, are doing. This is what I do. I mean, it really is important. So if you watch the Olympics, right, and you will always see, if you have athletes close to you or just watch them on the television, whenever they perform, they first calm themselves down. I mean, it's not rocket science, it's science. It's the amygdala. They calm the amygdala, because if you have your amygdala activated, your body get dysregulated. Your anger, your aggression, your anger, it's all affected. And so that's how you will not get the results that you wanted, because if the body and your nervous system is in disarray, you will not be able to achieve what you set your goals in. And that's why athletes calm themselves down first before they do the action. And also 10 minutes before, if you watched Olympic swimmers, they always have this huge headphones, right? And they're just listening to music. And when you hear them talk, they always say, I calm myself down first. it's also, I mean, I am a former athlete, so for me, I have to be in that mode first, right? I have to be in my brain first. And I saw consequences that when I didn't do that. I wasn't, if I didn't, one time I was in a situation where, and I made a video about that, I think it was in German, but I wasn't able to put my brain into, focus my brain into that race, and then I had a severe accident, and it was just the only time where I wasn't focused on that race. My brain wasn't there, and that's the consequence you have, because your body is out of array. And so even the technique that you're supposed to do, you either don't do or forget, or something goes off. And that's why it's so critical that you calm your amygdala first. And the recommendation also is science-based, and the science show that 10 minutes a day to have deep breathings calms your amygdala. Deep breathings. I talked about breathing, right? If you can't breathe, if you don't know the techniques of how to deep breathe, this is how your deep core breathing from the abdomen is the deep breathing that calms your amygdala. And journaling reduces anxiety, reduces depression, dumps off everything out, is the way you can calm down and regulate the amygdala. And this is also how, when you put your SMART goals, this is also brings clarity. And as we all learned, the science shows that clarity brings the amygdala, calms the amygdala down, and make you more successful and more achievable be able to achieve your goals, what you set in. Okay. And also helps with the better decision making. Obviously, if you are not in the anxiety mode, if you're not in a panic mode, obviously you will make better decisions. This is also the science proven, but also it's logic as well, right? So the science proved it, and you can also use your own logic once you have the basic understanding and basic knowledge of the amygdala. So I hope this was helpful, but don't forget, right now after this, in 3 minutes, we are going live into the weekly empowerment and how tips and tricks, what we can do, and how can we achieve success, empowerment, and being empowered for the upcoming week. Every Sunday I do that live. So, and guess what? I'm using my own affirmation cards that I made based on my own life, and I already have seen the cards from last night. I will do this, prepare myself always the night before, and the cards that came out is unbelievable, because every single time whatever I talk about is literally matched with my affirmation cards, and you will see in a second how, because it's just unbelievable. Because yeah, I've always been I don't know, thank universe that I always be confirming what everything I say. And even when I talk about the science of it, it's literally right there that the universe double downs on it. And you see also, for people who believe in, I don't know, this is just happening, like miracles. This is it. Just join me on the next live. Right after this, I will talk about how we can empower ourselves and what we can do to achieve success this upcoming week, starting December 23rd, 2024. Okay, I see you in the next video, and thank you so much for your support, and I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if this was helpful, and let me know in the comments how you experience anxiety. And I'm pretty sure in this day and age, everybody experiences anxiety, stress. But if there's more severe to that, and if you need help in calming in your day-to-day life, day-to-day activity, with small steps I can show you, calm your entire system and body down and regulate it, also with health tips, diet and exercises and all that. I can help you with that. If you want to check out my scientist total path transformation protocol. It's all included in there. Okay, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.